I was working with some other guy.
Here. I need to find something.
Okay. It was the same place.
Different teams.
Without the
We're actually, I work with,
What's the name of this course?
It's 3.0 because Green is not gonna let it go.
oh, wow.
So it's like one code to something for the enterprise application.
Yeah, pretty much.
Green is also
Right now they're
You pick your last one?
I'm gonna have to
Make it a shake.
Hey, nothing wrong with
There's a
that.
lot of.
Sour cream in and mix that thing up. I saw that one. That was one of the ones. Sure. Dumps them on the ice. And then just takes like little shower packages. It's like 20 of them, dumps them in. What? That was a shake. He was gold. I was looking at him, I was like, my man.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AI Open Source Meet hosted by ByteDance Open Source and NEXA AI. I'm Sky, your host for tonight's exciting event. First and foremost, thank you all for joining us here at 1199 Coleman, Ave in San Jose, and a special welcome to our colleagues tuning in via Lark meetings and everyone joining us through the live stream. We're thrilled to have such a diverse and dynamic group of developers and AI enthusiasts with us tonight.
No, because our digital character. That was
Yeah,
my
I
fault.
know. I'm asking if wasn't one is a real person.
It looks
Tonight, we're diving deep into the world of AI and ML inference, with a spotlight on on-device AI advancements. We'll explore cutting-edge open-source projects like InfiniEdge AI and the Nexa SDK, which are revolutionizing how we develop and deploy AI models. But before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, NEXA AI, and extend a heartfelt thank you to all the organizers and volunteers who've made this event possible. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speakers. First, we have Dr. Wei Chen, the founder and CEO of NEXA AI. Dr. Chen is the brilliant mind behind the Octopus V2 modeler, groundbreaking on-device AI model that's up to 4 times faster than GPT-4 and 70 times more energy efficient. Joining him are Dari Key from Coase and Tina Su from ByteDance Open Source. Together, they'll share invaluable insights into AI development and the open source ecosystem. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Alex Chen, Gary Key, and Tina Su to the stage for our welcome and AMA session.
Hi, I'm Tina and Alex. Ask us anything. It's called AMA session. Ask me anything. Yeah. Like any questions about open source or ByteDance or AI, any question about Nexa AI and Octopus version 2.1. Yeah, go ahead. Can you give a microphone? The green shirt. Oh, there. He's first. Okay, whoever. You fight.
Hi, my name is Enver. I work for an R&D company called AI Labs, and right now we have a project where we're trying to do ASR inference on device. So basically, we're experimenting with the Whisper. For that, we found an open source tool called Whisper CPP, and there's also other tools called like NCNN. We're experimenting with it, and my question is, will I be able to use NEXA AI to speed up, let's say, Whisper inference on device, like mobile phone?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've actually already supported Whisper in our SDK, and now you can basically navigate to our website and find Whisper models. And in addition to the speed up features we've included, you can actually easily integrate, Whisper's functionality in your application. I mean, I think it's much easier than Whisper CPP.
Oh, cool. Does it also support translation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I answer the question further? Hello, I just want to add some comments. So in InfiniEdge AI, there's a Whisper code to run on the edge. I want to show you here. Let me share my screen real quick. And not this one. Hold on, did I join from my, oh, I need to join from my laptop.
Is that possible? You guys kind of give some talks first, right? What's the open source? What's everything? Because directly ask us to ask questions. I don't even know what to ask.
I guess this is a warm-up session. Maybe we can just follow the agenda. Please.
What is the secret sauce of Nexa AI? Because typically, a lot of people do the pruning, quantization, compression. And is there anything different or even more that on AI do than the typical company put on the edge?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as you just mentioned, we are also concerned about the quantization, distillation, this kind of tricks. In addition to that, we also propose more like I think more fundamental algorithm improvement in terms of on-device AI, especially like energy efficiency, latency, this kind of tricks. I'll introduce more in my later talk. Actually, I've prepared a pitch deck, a deck, and then I can highlight some algorithms we've developed for on-device AI.
Yeah. So I want to show you, because you asked about Whisper, and this is the real-time translate app on the geo-distributed edge inference cloud. And this crossed the 7 data centers all over the world and use the Whisper.cpp. And you can say, so this is, if you type edge-ai.yaml.run, you can do it. It supports 77 languages in the world. Actually supports 99, but 20 of them not working well. Like there were fewer speakers from the Portuguese speaker. That's why that one is not really good. But for Chinese, Spanish, Russian, French is pretty precise. Feel free to try. And if you want to see the code, you can go here. Let's see the code. One sec. So if you go to the official website to InfiniEdge AI, and where's my mouse? Oh, here. Okay. Scroll down at the bottom, get a code. Then you will go to the InfiniEdge AI report. You will see the Edge Whisper. This is the MVP. You can run the real-time whispers on the edge. But this edge can be the smartphones, IoT devices, or the edge cloud. In this case, it's the edge cloud. So the conversation between a professor in Philadelphia and India could talk to their edge cloud and keep the privacy in the local areas. Yeah. Okay.
This is the ByteDance project, right? Edge.
This is the Linux Foundation open source, and ByteDance is one of the important contributors. But there are way more, many companies they contribute code.
So have any comparison numbers? Sorry.
Yeah, comparison, it tries the different type. It tries the Azure, and it tries the GCP and AWS, and also both use x86 CPU, ARM CPU, and NVIDIA GPUs. The performance is different. There are the performance data on the previous meetings in the community. Feel free to join the LAC, Slack, whichever. We have 3 groups to cover the developers all over the world. Yeah, question?
Yeah. So how different is Nexa AI for on-device inferencing when compared to TinyML based approaches? I have done on-device inferencing with TinyML. I'm trying to understand.
TinyML.
Yeah.
So first, that's a very good question. I think when we design our inference framework, we are more concerned about the granular control. Like we basically create a library that can enable other developers to do secondary development. Also, we tend to wrap the most complicated part of the code, like basically the CUDA or metal, this kind of code, like hide the most difficult part, and but still open the flexibility in the form of Python. So in that case, like most of the developers can easily utilize our SDK to do the on-device AI development. And the second part is that we are actually doing very fundamental improvement for on-device AI inference. Like we are using, not just the CUDA or metal, but also like RCM, this kind of other hardware, language to optimize the model inference.
So if I use NVIDIA Jetson Orino, the edge hardware, right? Will your model still support? Like, can it support across all edge AI accelerators?
We are currently supporting like I would say like NVIDIA Mac, and we are supporting more. Like RCM is a language for the AMD GPU.
And in terms of the technique, are you completely edge driven, or you do something like federated learning? What's the kind of approach when it comes to this edge whisper that you shared, right? Is it completely at edge, or do you provide some kind of a data privacy wherein we can bring our own data and do a federated approach? Is that?
Yeah, like we are a company only focused on edge AI.
Sorry, just like the gentleman said, would be great to get some overview of NEXA AI.
Yeah.
Like, and so that we can ask
more
informed questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, Gary, and Tina for that enlightening discussion. Now we're moving on to our next segment. We'll have community speeches and an on-device demo by Nexa AI. This is an excellent opportunity to see the Nexa SDK in action and learn how it's empowering developers like you to deploy multimodal local AI models effortlessly.
Not my. Can you see my screen now?
I can.
Okay. So firstly, I want to say sorry for the delay. And this is my introduction or more about our company and what we are doing. Basically, we are a company only focused on edge AI. And the product we are building is the small language model that can be deployed locally. In addition to that, we provide the SDK developed internally to support our model for our customer. In addition to that, our SDK can also support other models models from other companies. So for my later introduction, basically you will see that the small language model developed by NEXA AI and also the SDK from NEXA AI. And firstly, I would like to highlight some, a growing demand about on-device AI. This figure is from one of literature review papers from NEXA AI. And we can see that the demand for on-device AI is actually growing very fast. And
it's like a little bit too loud. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Or maybe I can just keep a distance between my.
Like the Taylor Swift, oh, like pour your microphone.
Yeah, so before this generative AI era, we've seen many use cases of on-device AI. For example, when you open your local office software, there are some OCR, AI model to support the local OCR capturing, and also in many monitoring systems associated with camera, there are some computer vision model deployed already to detect any anonymous people or object. And why we do on-device AI at this time? Because we've seen the power of large language model and diffusion model, and different from the models before this generative AI era. At that time, the model is still very, very small, and we don't need to really be concerned about the latency because it's already very fast. But now the model becomes much larger, and we are concerned about the latency again. And in addition to that, ChatGPT is very powerful, but many times, if you use ChatGPT, you'll be very worried if you upload your personal information, and on-device AI can protect your privacy, especially that we've seen, the 7 billion parameters models can reach the same capability for ChatGPT 2 years ago. And also, if you use on-device AI model, you don't need to pay for the subscription or the API cost for OpenAI. And also for some scenario, when you are driving in the desert, or if you are, in an atmosphere without internet, you can still maintain the capability of your generative AI model. And our company is actually especially solving the following three challenges. Firstly is that we intend to use optimized algorithm to enable faster inference of language model. And secondly, we found there is a poor support in the community to run the language models on edge device, and that's our work about the SDK part. Thirdly, we found the performance of small language model still needs improvement, and that's why we are also doing the small language model. And this is some highlights about our company. So like I said, firstly, we are building on-device small language model, and to enable the user or developer to use our model, we created our SDK. At the same time, we intend to build an on-device AI community to invite more developers to be involved in the on-device AI development. And we've created some pretty good or popular models across the community. For example, in April this year, we released a model called Octopus v2, and it's got a lot of attention from the community. You can see that in April, our model is actually featured as the second place among over 500,000 open source models on Hugging Face. There is a model ranking page. And the work is also featured by Google I/O event this year. And currently, we are partnering with many hardware companies like Volkswagen, Opel, HP, etc. And you may notice that the companies that we are partnering, they are basically more about like hardware company because they want to deploy the model, inside the hardware. And also the company like Jin Digital, they are like the company who process the personal identity information, which means that they are really concerned about the privacy, and that's why they choose to use on-device AI. Next, I'd like to introduce more about our work. And this is the on-device AI model hub we've created. And we treat us as a on-device AI community company. And the way to do it is that we want to provide a comprehensive platform where developers can easily find all of the available on-device AI model, in addition to the models from our own company. And also, we want to provide the features that developers are really concerned about. For example, like the RAM or file size or number of parameters when you run the model. Actually, if it is on device, you need to be really concerned about this because the computation of your laptop is limited. And also, we try to make the inference of your local LLM inference as easy as possible. And that's why in our SDK, we can help you to run the model with a single line of code. And this is the SDK we've created. Like we released it 3 weeks ago, and now I think it's naturally increased into 1,500 stars. And also, we've noticed many issues from the communities as well. And we've seen that actually a very strong demand about the on-device AI deployment. We just like the question just asked like about the Whisper support. Our SDK now can support multimodal model, and it can help to set up a server point locally for inside your laptop. Imagine that you are traveling or you are shopping outside. You can keep your laptop inside your home and set up a server, and then you can create a mobile app on your mobile phone using the server resource inside your house. In that case, you can still enjoy a ChatGPT capability without leaking any privacy. And also, we have some built-in Streamlit UI so that developers can easily test the different models. And most importantly, like we have one line command so that people can use one line of code to use different generative AI models locally. Next, I would like to introduce more about the models we've created and the design logic when we develop on-device AI model. So different from cloud model, basically you have almost unlimited GPU and electricity. When you run the model locally, you need to be concerned about the latency, energy efficiency, and especially your laptop especially when it is not plugged, the power is very easy to went out and to go out, and that's why we design our model based on these principles. We want our model to be as efficient as possible and save as much energy as possible. And the Octopus V2 model is designed to support fast and energy efficient function calling. Maybe we can get an overview of the conventional way to do function calling, which is that you get users query and then you put a long context about the function description, and then you put all of these into a language model. And the energy consumed is based on the number of tokens the model needs to process. That's why we've designed a new technique called functional token. So instead of put a long context into the model, we actually propose a concept called meta language, which is we treat a single function as a token. Basically, we elevate the status of functions the same as the linguistic token. And now we have a model consisting of both the linguistic token and the functional token, and it can output one token to represent one action. And we found that using this way, we can now use 2 billion parameters model to achieve like as accurately as GPT-4 in function calling. And also the model is very small, and that enable us to run the model locally and achieve function calling accurately locally. Here I like to play a demo to showcase how our model can deploy locally and how it can revolutionize the human computer interaction. As we can see, it's already a multimodal model. Basically, you can send say something, a voice, and then it will trigger the function token output. The direct output, that means like the current function calling just needs several token outputs, and that's the reason why it could be very fast. The demo you see now is a real demo we recorded on a Google Pixel 6, which is a phone 3 years ago, which is just worth 200 USD. And we also tested the model on latest iPhone and Samsung's phone, and it's even faster. But as you can see, even in a very old phone, the function calling response is less than 1 second. So basically, it can convert your voice or text input into the action call. And this is another example. As we can see, the text input is send an email to a mailbox and ask for collaboration. And we can take a look at the model output. So the model output, as we can see, the first token output is Nexa 3. This is a special functional token without any linguistic meaning, but it is mapped to send an email function defined in the function documentation. And this is the one of the secret source we created for on-device AI. Yeah. Also, we've created a multimodal model because especially when you run multimodal model like GPT-4, 4V or GPT-4o, if you use API, that means you need to pass or send your image locally to the cloud of OpenAI and then retrieve the result bank. Just the image transfer, that could consume like 1 to 2 seconds. But if you use a multimodal model locally, you save the time, for the image transfer. And actually, we've created a multimodal model, and similarly, it is used for function calling. Now our model can, directly accept the text and image, and then output the function token to execute some command. And we create.
Did you use?
I replug it again. Should work. Okay. So this is also the demo for the model. Like it accepts both text and image, and then output the action. So we test this model on both Android and iOS phone. And we created a so-called super app locally. Like basically, you only need one app to get access to all of other apps existing in your mobile phone. And as you can see, we can just send an image in and then say something. It will trigger the correct or relevant apps inside your device and fulfill your request. For example, you want to purchase something, purchase a product, you just take a picture and say, I want to purchase it. And then it will trigger the API of Amazon. This is another example. I want to send the content of a poster to my friend, and then I can just use the image and then say, send this poster to my friend. It will trigger the send an email function. Also, you can let it do other capability like interior design, trigger the relevant apps on your mobile mobile phone and fulfill your request. And this model is just the, it's less than 1 billion parameters model. It's a multimodal model, less than 1 billion parameters model. So you can see that a functional token is it's very good at, doing this kind of action task. And like I just mentioned, this is another model released by our company. It's also a paper called long context as a new modality. So when people create a multimodal model, we want the model to understand both, text and image and audio at the same time. But when we design it for, the on-device AI, we found like energy consumption is really a big problem. And we use the idea from the multimodal model. We don't want our model process, a long context, but a shorter context. And the way we do that is like we use a text encoder to compress the long context. The text encoder is a model that is 10 times smaller than the main decoder. And then after the compression, we can send 10 times shorter context into the main LLM. In this way, we basically can save like almost 10 times energy during the model inference. And this model can also be found on our Hugging Face homepage. And also we have a paper relevant to it as well. Also, I would like to showcase one demo about our SDK. So using this demo, you can see that how the SDK can already run on some pretty ordinary device like a mobile phone. So we compare our SDK, compare it to Llama CPP and the MLC LLM, which are two other pretty popular framework for local LLM inference. As you can see, our SDK is very good at the time for the first token output, as well as the decoding speed. So this phone is again like a Google Pixel 6, a pretty old and cheap phone. You can observe much better performance, using latest phone. Yeah, so that will be the overall introduction of our company. And here is another advertisement. So we've actually just closed a round of 50 million. And we are actually hiring for more like engineers and product managers at the moment. We are supported by branded VC, such as the HP laptop, Sequoia, and Alumni Venture, Plug and Play. Yeah.
So is most of the work that you guys do with the models like after they're trained, or is there like any quantization aware training that you guys have also like experimented with?
Sorry, say it again.
Have you guys experimented with like quantization aware training?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's actually the topic we are we really care about. And also we are also pre-training, post-training the small language model as well. Please.
So I had a question on the last demo where you comparing Llama CPP with your SDK. Can you speak to the differences? How do you achieve improved performance in your SDK? Like, is it like optimization or is it different model? What's the nature of how do you get the benefit?
Yeah, we use the same device and same model, but in our SDK, we provide more like I would say hardware-aware acceleration.
So the operations itself are optimized, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your speech. It's really great. So I have a question regarding the Octopus 3. So I'm wondering, like, how do you decide which app to open? Is it based on user settings? Or if user download a new app, how did you figure out you should connect to that new app?
Yeah, so we've designed our model, especially Octopus model, as a plug and play mode. That is, if you have a new function or a new app, all you need to do is just to convert it into a new token, and that can be done, in several minutes. So you don't need to retrain the model, all over again. You just need to train one additional, embedding for that token.
I see. Is it automatically happening?
You can design it. I mean, it's more like engineering work. You can design it automatically. But for the model itself, it's pretty flexible.
I see. Thank you.
So can it be used for some other general tasks? Like, can I deploy this model in some other speaker? Let's say it's again an edge device, right?
Yes.
Can we deploy this in a speaker?
Yes, we successfully deployed this model to a Raspberry Pi, which is worth just 80 USD. So I think a speaker is more expensive than that. Please.
Okay, my question actually is some kind of related to the other people asked. So the key thing is, how do you really improve the performance, etc. Right? So my understanding is, one, you're using the function tokenization, you actually tokenize the function, and second thing is you basically optimize the hardwares. Is there anything else? Right? That's the question, one of the question. But the first question about tokenize the function, I read the paper like 2 months back. There's a paper on that, right? So how to do this. But you said this is a secret sauce. So that means, are you the only company so far is doing this, or there's some other people already also doing similar things, right? So that's the first question. First question first.
Yeah, so that's a good question. We actually released this model in the April, and the time when we released it is actually very, very hot on Twitter and LinkedIn. And I believe we should be the very first person to create this methodology. And you can also search our paper. It's called Octopus V2. And yeah, I mean, we detailed the methodology we used there. And also you mentioned our methodology to optimize the speed. I think a functional token is away from the algorithm aspect of the LLM in general. But I mean, you can also use this model in cloud. We've noticed some of the developers utilize our model on cloud. It still observe better accuracy and speed. It's just we are limited by the device, and this is the algorithm we developed from the aspect of LLM itself. And secondly, I'm not sure if you have noticed some work flash attention. It's optimizing the inference of LLM on specifically NVIDIA A100 or H100, their latest flash attention 3. But the GPU from AMD or the GPU locally on your Windows or Mac has different structure from the A100 or H100. So we are also doing very similar work. Basically, it's a hardware-aware inference of LLM.
So that means you have to be specific to the phone, the chips.
Specific to the chips.
If it is different, maybe phone type or using different type of chip, you have to develop according optimization for that too, right?
Yes, I think we are now more focused on the most popular chips like Snapdragon.
I mean, it's great. This first time I saw somebody mentioning to tokenize the function. I read the paper way back, but I don't know whether there's something out there. Thank you.
So are you not doing target hardware aware customization with this token generation? To add on to this question, apart from Qualcomm Snapdragon, there are many other chipsets, right, which are used in mobile phones. So is there a way you can identify the target hardware family and the architecture, and accordingly make the engineering optimization so that we can run the SLM? the Octopus system. Is that possible, or should we need to do that additional engineering effort on our own?
So Octopus is just a model, like you can use a different framework to run it, like a PyTorch or a TensorFlow. I mean, you can use any framework to run it. And the inference is I would say like another aspect, which is like Octopus is itself, fundamentally is basically the also LLM. And then to make this LLM run faster, we are doing some hardware-aware optimization, like Snapdragon optimization. And for a specific chip, we need to, rewrite the inference or the model forward propagation process. And there are many, like, basically like how you do the matrix, decomposition, and how to fuse different operations within the chip. And that means like for a very specific chip, you need to write a new model forward propagation.
And you said about flash attention 3, right?
Yeah, that's for H100. Yeah.
Are you using the blind flash attention? There is another customization. Is that something that you're using?
I would say like this kind of hardware optimization, they are following very similar logic. Basically, like you turn IO bounded problem into another problem. If you use a traditional model forward propagation, the speed is actually limited by the read and output speed of the main memory, and you want to put more of the computation to the on-chip memory.
So in NVIDIA, they use the on-chip high bandwidth memory, HBM.
Yes.
So here, what are you?
Very similar.
Very similar?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So my understanding is you might be also using something like adaptive speculative decoding and so on within this, right? To improve the latency time for the time taken for first token generation. Is that something that you're doing? I'm just trying to understand the technique.
I think there are multiple techniques we are using. So firstly, very similar optimization like flash attention, like also the algorithm improvement, and also how to compile the model into some executable that can be loaded faster. So it's not just one single technique, but the addition of multiple works.
Okay, thank you.
Do you support TPU from Google?
Sorry?
TPU from Google, the chip?
Tensor processing unit.
Oh, yeah. I think we haven't tried that.
You haven't tried that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are now focusing on like, the chips on laptop and also like Snapdragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you speak to the popularity of different hardware platforms as you see it for your customers? Like, what's the top platform second?
Yeah. So honestly, our company is a very small team, less than 10 persons. So we are now like only focused on the most of our energy is around the laptop. So that means we are doing like optimization for the metal-based like Mac chip, as well as Snapdragon for the Windows laptop.
This is really impressive, or like maybe more impressive than the OpenAI real-time API stuff that I saw. That's really cool. So you said that you said that you've tried to run this on the $80
Raspberry Pi, yeah.
So you see more use in let's say the glasses that people are working on, like open source glasses and open source necklaces and bands and those kind of things. Do you think this could run on device on that?
Yes, I think it can be used. Actually, we were testing our model with Rocket glasses and Max Hub. I mean, they took around, I think, around like 20% of the market for the AI glasses. And similarly, for these AI classes, they have one classes and also one, brick-like, computation unit. It's very similar to Meta's new classes. And for that computation unit, it has a pretty good, computation power. And it can definitely support a 2 billion quantized models inference. Maybe we can.
Just final question from my side then. So following up on the last question that the lady asked at the back, how easy is it to create new functions, like to be able to customize and create new applications? Like, is it a lot of engineering effort, or is it quite straightforward and easy? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, so it just needs a little like model fine tuning. Basically, it consists of 3 steps. The first step is like identify the function you want to support. And secondly, you need to edit the architecture of your model, just extend the current token embedding space to have the space for the new function, and then fine tune it. Then you get it. And like I said, one function just needs several minutes.
Is it fine-tuned locally or on the cloud?
Both. You can do it locally or on the cloud.
And you offer these 3-step process on NEXA AI, I assume?
Not on our platform at this time. Like I mentioned, we are supporting that. I think very soon. If you are interested, you can consider to join us to support this functionality. One last question.
Quick question. Have you considered prompt engineering instead of fine-tuning for function calling? Because, for example, in my company, we've been doing this for 4 years already, and we called it actions even before the functions existed, like in 2019. And we started applying it for GPT-3, and it wasn't stable in the beginning, but for GPT-4, it's very stable. I mean, you can achieve function-like results with just prompt engineering, with feature learning and proper instructions. Have you tried that?
That's a great question. So the precondition is that we are running this model locally. And if you run the model locally, it becomes pretty slow to output one single token. Not to mention if you use prompt engineering and you combine the rec command to digest a long function description, that means that your model will be much slower. And also the energy consumed locally is based on the number of tokens you process. So if you use prompt engineering, that just increases the length of the context, and that makes the inference, slower and more energy intensive. Yeah.
Okay. The input will get longer, but the output will remain around the same way.
Yeah, but in that case, you'll see that your device, is losing the battery very soon, and also the speed is very, very slow. And even if you use the prompt engineering, that works very well for pretty large models, like the models maybe over 70 billion parameters. But if you use it for a small language model, like a 1 billion or 2 billion, you can use a lot of prompt engineering. But I'll say that it still doesn't work for the function calling.
Thank you.
You mentioned you have a small team of engineers. What's your view on the support from code pilots like GitHub Copilot for this type of work? Do you guys use it in your day-to-day development? Is it giving you benefit really? Like, is it worth for this particular domain if you're optimizing your SDK for the particular hardware platforms? What's your view on that?
Yeah, so I'm one of the beta user of GitHub Copilot. I mean, when it is still not released to the public, I'm already using it.
Yeah, but my impression, at least what I'm trying to do, it's more useful for like web development, JavaScript, that type of thing. But the minute you go low level into the device, and becomes not very useful. But I don't know if it's generic for like all users, or do you guys use it? Is it helpful?
Yeah, I think it is.
Maybe you are using some other tools which on the
It's
market.
helpful. I think I'm just using the Google, GitHub Copilot as well as Cloud 3 and ChatGPT. Yeah. So I mean, it can at least like if you specify the code you are going to write specifically, it can still save a lot of your time. Especially you don't need to worry about the type or spelling, this kind of work.
Do you have like estimation in terms of how much productive your 10 people are? Like 10%, 15? I don't know. Any numbers you can share?
I think combining GPT-4 and GitHub Copilot, maybe accelerate 2 times. Yeah.
So I did see you mentioning about AI agents, right?
Sorry?
Agents.
Agents.
I did see in the slide deck you mentioning about agents. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we use function calling for agents, and like our model, Octopus is a action model, so it's designed for agents. Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand, like, have you explored anything with the agents? Like, are you using reasoning and action-based agents or something else, or you have not yet explored? It's something that you will have to do going forward.
We actually, we've done many works in this space. And if you visit our website, there is a section called blogs. And we have, I think, several papers for that. Maybe you can, delve into detail if you are interested. And I think others are waiting for their own like a demo session. Maybe we can continue the conversation later.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Kai from NEXA AI. I'm the technical product manager. So we did have a little conversation like today, like the engineering of office that we're talking about should we like switch to cursor in the programming? Cursor is a very powerful tool, and we have a conversation on this. And the final thing we think of is like we only use cursor for debugging, because like cursor basically read your code base, right, as the context. But for the current limitation of like LLM, you can only understand the basic level of the language, like like the code, but doesn't know the intent behind the code. So you easily generate a lot of code that works, but like doesn't like like optimize in long terms. So for our understanding, is like we try to not using cursor a lot, but like we only use that for debugging. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, let's show you some action on our NexaSDK. Is that right? Cable to connect. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me try to switch in mirror so I'm able to see the screen as well. So while I'm like doing this, I want to ask you a question. So that's weird. I'm not able to see my cursor. Slot. Oh, my cursor is that. Okay. This one, right? Okay, I bet. Okay. So I want to ask you a question. So how many of you ever like try to run an on-device AI on your laptop or anything like that? And the second question is like, how many of you like build with on-device AI before? Like a script, like a model? No one. Okay. So we all know that like there's a lot of like launches on the model for the major player like Anthropic, OpenAI. Like this year we have like Cloud Sonnet 3.5. We also have OpenAI 01 and GPT-4o. But there's also like thousands of like hundreds of like open source model that are available like on Hugging Face or whatever the platform you see. So many of the launches they actually have models that's under 10 billion parameters, so which is like perfect for on-device AI. So what it does for NexaSDK, like this line of product is
like model is one of our focus. The second focus is like the Nexa SDK. So what it is like there's thousands of like open source models. So we want to like help developer to deploy those models and build an app using on-device AI. This is our mission. That's why we created this. This is fully open source. So before we dive into Nexa SDK, I want to show you something. So we built something called the Nexa model. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I won't say this is a Hugging Face on device model, but like it does only one thing. So it helps user to find model that can run on their devices by different use case. So let me show you an example. So let's say right now I'm trying to build a local version of character AI. So many people complain about character AI because like there's like moderation, there's a censorship. So let's say, okay, I'm trying to build a on-device version of it. So using a uncensored model. So I'm in a Nexa model hub right now. So I just like easily just like scroll and there's uncensored version. So I can see all the uncensored model right here. So let's choose one of that. See. When we're going, so we actually did, so this is the user uploaded model, so we're not able to create all the quantization tag for them. But like for basic model like Gemma 2, so we basically create all kinds of quantization option for them. So for this particular model, let's say I'm trying to build an app with that. So, but I don't want to allocate many RAM for this model because I'm going to use other model as well. So I'm just like to quickly see, okay, this model, this like quantization tag only like take like 4 GB of range. So I just like click that, and then I just like copy this command line, and then I go to the terminal. So I already installed the Nexa SDK in my terminal, and I'll show you how to install that later. So basically, just like as Ellie said before, we just need one line of code, and just the model is running on your devices right now. And we also have an interface. Let me show you, supported by Streamlit UI. Let's type Streamlit here, and then you open up. And you have an interface that you can check. So let's say, because that we're using uncensored model, we can say something more spicy. Like, can you say something to turn me on? Sorry about that. So this is something like, if you try to include this like to like the cloud AI, they say, sorry, I'm unable to. It's running. So it's running complete. Yeah. So you can like have those like kind of conversation on the devices. So it's like offline, so you don't need to worry about like this kind of information we send to OpenAI or Anthropic. Let's close that. So let's say, okay, now, yeah.
Can you ask him to sing?
No, we have another model to do that, to DTS or to text to audio. So we still like trying to build like on device character AI. So we go back to model hub. I'm like looking for a image generation model. So let's go back to that, and then I can look for all those model. Flux is a pretty popular model right now, so we support that for our on device SDK as well. So I was going to show you like how you're going to like generate images on device, but like I tried to download model. The internet here is kind of slow, so I'll skip that. And also, someone mentioned running a whisper on devices before. So OpenAI actually they launched a new speech recognition model called Whisper. Let me see. We support that on day one. It's called a Whisper Large V3 Turbo. We can just click on that, and just like I used before, like just like copy this, and then we go to the terminal. Okay, he asked me for a path to the audio file, but I can also call Streamlit UI again. So you have like an interface like this. So you're able to upload a audio file, you do transcription, and also you can just like turn on record a video and ask him to transcribe and translate as well. So this is a very like good model for OpenAI. So we actually tried it yesterday. We run that on a NVIDIA GTX 4090. So it's transcribed a 24 minutes audio into text within 20 seconds. That's super fast. Like on my little M1 Pro, I'm able to like transcribe a 1 minute audio file into text, I think under 20 seconds. It's pretty impressive. Like comparing the previous model, I think I will need to do that in probably 2 minutes or 3 minutes also. Okay. So yeah, this is like basically what our SDK can do. So let's warming up. So it can run like language model. It can run image generation model, and in the future we're likely to support video generation model. And also it runs like speech recognition model. You also run TDS. So I'm going to show you one of the demo we have been working in the past few days. So we turned that, we're using an NexaSDK, of course. We turned that from idea into something that actually works like in 10 hours. And we post that on Reddit and it went viral. So we are the #1 trading on artificial intelligence channel, and also local llama, a lot of channel we're #1 trading. So we also got 1,000 songs on GitHub from 0 in 48 hours. You have a PDF folder, you have so I always wanted like if you have you can use AI to actually understand the content of your file, so it can actually like rename the file and put in different subfolder for you. So we actually build this in 10 hours with NexaSDK. So I'm now in the project folder of this. Let me try to make it bigger. So we have a sample data that it's like a pretty messed up file. So you can see we have screenshot, we have PDF, we have like docs, we have PPT, we even have like a Google logo kind of thing. So so what we do right now is like we write a script that we use a language model and also a vision language model to actually read all those files in that folder. So vision language model is going to like read the to do OCR, like you have a PDF, like you just read whatever is inside a PDF or read to understand the images. And also the language model is trying to like, understand what's going on your like a PPT, like a docs, like a text file. You summarize and try to like rename the file for you. Let me try to run that. Oh, to show that I'm running this like on device without internet, I'm going to close my Wi-Fi now. So it's like 100% no internet, no API. We are not like cheating you with open API. So it's running completely on device. The language model we use is Gemma 2B. It's a 2B model. And the vision language model we use the Lava 1.6. We're doing our best like to support a more advanced like vision model, like Llama 2 vision and also 5.3.3 vision. So let's say let's run the script. So you would ask me about like, do you want to turn on silent mode? No, I want to show you everything on that. So you asked me about directory of the file, of the folder I want to solve. I just like click that here. Okay. So you like read everything on the folder with a structure like that. So so right now we basically give you like 3 options. First, like the AI will read the contents and try to sort it for you, or you can just simply like sort by date, sort by type. Type is like the format of your file. So let's do the most challenging one, which is sort by content. We use AI to read everything on your file, but because it's a on device, so you don't need to worry about your privacy. So let's run that. Okay, you can see that the model is currently like reading your file in real time. Okay, you read the Google logo and it print out. Let me zoom in a little bit. So you say, okay, that's a browser logo, it's a Google logo. So I'm going to put that on the design folder, and I think I will rename it to Google Chrome logo. And it also read that, okay, there's the screenshot I just showed you is showing the iPhone setting of the storage. You would just like put that into the screenshot folder and also name it to the storage app. And also there's an animal photo, just put it in the natural photography folder, just things like that. So it's 100% on your devices powered by an NexaSDK. So how's the model going to work? Is like, we basically like started a local server on your devices. So it's 100% OpenAI API compatible. So let's say you're building something that's already using OpenAI API. you can just like replace the part using the Open API key to Nexa SDK server. So you can like you can immediately get something that using your local OEM. Okay, it's done. So you read all the file and create different subfolder with the name and also rename all the file. So all those things, I think it's do that under a minute also. Yeah. So this project is like pretty popular on Reddit. Okay, let me connect to the internet again. Let me show you the Nexa SDK. Okay. Okay, this is the NexaSDK SDK. So again, this is a comprehensive toolkit. We're trying to, we know there's like not many people is currently trying to build with on-device AI. And we really want to like make that happen. Like we want to create a set of toolkit for you to like deploy like language model, vision language model, text generation model, whatever that is. So for you to like, you are able to, for developer, for them to like able to build something that run with the on-device AI model. So we launched on GitHub, I think is second week of September. We already like got 1K start after 2 weeks, and yeah, we ship weekly. So if you're trying to build something with on-device AI, check on this project. Please start us. And yeah, we're looking forward to like anything you want to build with on-device AI. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, go ahead.
So how do you deploy this on the phone? Because I look at the.
Oh yeah, yeah. Phone is something we're going to work on next. So we have like two kind of like solution. The first solution, like what Alex just say, they're going to like deploy a certain kind of like file format which called ONNX. So that kind of model you're able to run that on devices with super good like power efficiency. The second solution is that you're going to start a server on your computer, and then you'll be like an internal API you can call from your phone.
Okay, so for ONNX, etc., I have to build up my own API to call the model, right? Or
No, ONNX is 100% on the device, like run 100% on my laptop. The second solution is that you need to like start a server from a laptop and your phone call the API from your laptop. That's the second solution.
So basically, there's no solution for the purely it's running.
We're working on that. There's a first solution. We're working for that. Like, yeah, you're going to see that by the end of the year.
Are you going to support iOS?
iOS they have like Apple Intelligence, but like Apple Intelligence like is very limited and very limited API access. I don't know. Yeah, we'll definitely try that. But right now we only focus on Android so far because of the open scenario of Android.
I think you showed earlier that you have Flux One,
yeah.
These really large models in there, which are like 9 gigabytes.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have like quantized version of Flux as well. But like
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, is there like smaller quantized versions that are easier to install and run because it's 9 gigabyte?
Yeah, like for so image generation model is like easier to be affected like by the quantization, right? So unlike a language model, like let's say we're doing like Q40 quantization. So for language model, it doesn't affect a lot. But like maybe for image generation model or a vision language model, you actually like hugely impact the outcome. So we're also expanding like different quantization technology like AWQ. Which is like Llama CP is currently not supported, so we're trying to like do that ourselves.
And in your experience, what's the like loss of accuracy as you keep?
Like on device image generation. Our actually current recommendation would be like LCM Dream Shaper. It's like not a huge model and it runs pretty good and the outcome is pretty good as well. Let me see. Yeah, Dream Shaper. This one is pretty good. Yeah. We also support like Stable Diffusion version 3 as well. So you can go to Model Hub and play with yourself, and yeah, you can try different model and different quantization.
Hi. I remember your program manager, right? Product manager.
Yeah.
What's the business model?
So we have, are you in talk?
Oh yeah, so hi, I'm Alan, I'm also product manager at NexaSDK AI. So business model is following traditional open source project business model. It's going to be product-led growth. So our main source of revenue will be coming from enterprises that we're working with. Yeah, but we'll be using this to make our open on-device AI solutions self-serve enough, so every developers can start to build their own on-device solutions, do a proof of concept, present to their leadership, and then convert to our enterprise like sales funnels. Yeah.
So for us, you're gonna have a marketplace, so we can put our sort of product to your marketplace. How do we make money?
Your product, or
I mean, when we use your SDK, right?
Yeah.
So what's that in for me? What do I do?
So the value for using our SDK. So our SDK supports you to build something completely using on-device AI. So if you have any use cases that needs, privacy, sensitive data, or offline availability, or you just want to save cost running AIs, you can use our SDK to play with it. It's completely free. So it's like a local on-device inference engine for your on-device solutions. And we also provide open source models too.
Maybe later you're gonna provide supports, right? Subscription kind of services.
Right now, later we'll talk about later. We'll see. But for now, it's like if you build your on-device solutions, you need help like building a local AI solution, or you need help fine-tuning models, or have some advanced features using our SDK, such as deploying on mobiles. We have a closed source solution. We haven't open sourced it, and we'll be doing the enterprise way.
And all the Octopus model we just mentioned, some on our model hub as well. Octopus V2, V3. Oh, V3 is now open source. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm curious, like, who your customers are. Like, how important is on-device AI compared to like on the cloud? Like, I mean, you're getting the privacy, but you're like losing the performance. It's like every time like you gain the privacy, it's like worth $1 or something, and you lose performance, maybe it's worth $2. Like, who is it worth it to for this privacy? Like for me, I don't really care too much about the privacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so basically what we found is like for domain specific use cases, like if you chat with documents or doing transcriptions or doing function calling, in some cases, in your use cases, a small model is already good enough to satisfy your new user needs. So in that case, the accuracy is good enough. So we optimize for cost, speed, and privacy. And like, for example, we work with some of the AIPC companies. We're developing some kind of local, AI companion for them, and or like chat with PDF, things like that. Where if you work with big companies, like sometimes they have very strict AI security policies, where sensitive data matter, and also, yeah, besides privacy, also like the saving cost, operation cost for other companies, where you optimize for. If you just want to chat with your PDF, enable employees to chat with PDF. Kind of like an AI solution. You don't need to subscribe to cloud for like 1,000 people. That's saving some money. Why not just using on devices? It's cheaper and also satisfying the use case.
Okay, so it might be cheaper even than making like a private cloud, which would still like enforce the privacy, right?
Yeah, so for private cloud, you still have to like pay the server fees, like to host them. But for on-device AI, you are using the computational resource already at your fingertips. So it's yeah, private cloud does save the privacy problem, but still there's cost in them. And also, if you're in some use cases where let's say the latency really matters. Like for example, I was in Samsung's developer conference earlier today, and I saw they can use voice to control light, but they're routing it to maybe a private server and then come back to the light. I have to wait like 5 seconds to turn my lights off. But with on-device AI, you just wait less than 1 second.
So that's also like pretty specific, because like, I mean, if you're using an LLM to generate like a paragraph or something, it's probably going to be faster in the cloud. But like, there's specific use cases.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, for some generating long paragraphs or long context, currently cloud is still the solution.
So I just have a comment on that because you mentioned on device. So to me, my first understanding on device actually is on here, right? On edge device, not on certain like laptop or desktops. So to me, if I use a laptop to do, you just mentioned the scenarios like chat PDF, etc. I also built that before. I have that, and then I just open source it because I don't need any of your optimization, and everything actually works pretty fast. But I think the key value is going to be on the edge. Right? Here, not many people are doing that yet, and I tried some certain models to run on my iPhone, but it's super slow. But if you're trying to approach for certain like SME market that using certain kind of modeling optimization, I don't know. I use any of quantized model using Llama or using others. It works really fast. It's basically already satisfy the business needs, right? So I don't know whether your business case is going to be approached to different segments, but if purely focus on here, I think going to be a lot. I asked the question, how can I run on iPhone? Because I'm developing some iOS app. So far, I have to call OpenAI to do that, right? If I have on here my models, that'd be great. I'm really interested.
Yeah, we do have like a closed source SDK to run models on iOS and Android. Like for the demo you're seeing, we're using our closed source SDK to run the models on iOS. So we're not ready to open source it yet. But if you're interested, we can definitely talk more after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some question. I saw some hands over. Who wants a microphone?
In the beginning, you showed that the Whisper 3 Turbo, I was able to run on device and able to process 24 minutes of audio during 20 seconds, something like that. Do you have comparison numbers versus, let's say, traditional CUDA? I'm just trying to understand how fast is it versus CUDA
for Whisper models?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said you run the Whisper Turbo on GPU 4090 Ti, right? And I mean, it used Nexa SDK, right? To run.
Yeah. It's really, like I said, device dependent. Like if you have very strong GPU or CPU, it's going to be faster. And we have just tested on the 4090s and M1 Pros. That's only the one we tested, but feel free to test on other machines too. So for benchmark, it really depends on how powerful your CPU or GPU is to determine the. Are you talking about latency?
Yeah, the speed, inference time.
Yeah. So we haven't thoroughly tested the Whisper model.
But the model itself is way faster than the previous one. It's like 5 times faster.
Yeah.
Running on M1.
On the same device.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand versus like this case versus where you don't use the next SDK, just run PyTorch code and so.
We use the distilled version of Whisper, so which is like runs a bit faster, but like also like let's say other solution like Llama, they doesn't run a transcribe model, right? So we offer that solution for you as well. So it's more comprehensive, like it's offering of all the model we support, but it runs very good. Yeah, if you run it on the Windows that support like CUDA, it runs pretty fast. The Whisper model will be super fast.
So, do you support any security feature?
Like, for example,
encryption or anything of that sort? Like, I can name this specific thing, but I'm trying to understand generically. Like symmetric multi-party computation and things like that.
Not at the moment, not at the moment, because the model itself is already running on device, so it's be sharing the same kind of security guardrails as your other data on your device. Yeah,
but Okay, let's say Apple M1 laptop, right? It would have a hardware crypto engine, a dedicated crypto hardware chipset. So I'm trying to think from that perspective. Are you leveraging any of those functionality to improve the performance, or how is it that you're doing in your SDK?
For the security?
Yeah.
We currently didn't see any like user needs from that, but if you have some ideas,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the question is, when it's on device, right, compared to you have your private cloud. In the private cloud, you can have memory, for example, so you can learn more and get smarter. In this case, how do you get smarter?
So there's two layers. There's going to be like a model where the modeling performance can be improving, and there can also be like a memory layer to help keep feeding context to the model. So we can potentially integrate with Mem0. I don't know if have you guys heard of that open source project? And that can be also running locally too, just some compared, just coupled with our models and SDK, then can do the same thing.
Just a quick question. I'm curious, like about the customers. Like, does HP like do they want you to like put your models on their devices or something like that?
I mean, on device models, yeah.
They have very
Yeah,
specific,
Yeah, but I'm curious about like specific instances of the customers. Yeah.
I can't disclose much at the moment, but yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Sorry, it's a follow-up question about Mem0 you mentioned.
Yeah.
My scenario is if you have a private cloud, you have 1,000 employees. They talk to the same private cloud. They have a lot of learning, right? So the knowledge gets learned gradually because of so many different users. But in your case, how can they learn from so many users?
That's a good point. We haven't thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah, for this kind of like functionality, we prefer to like do integration with the other provider like Mem0 and other like memory solution. So okay, so we only want to focus on the ONNX to save power and provide you better performance on that. So like, everyone cannot like excellence in everything, but like yeah, for the memory part, we're because we've already in talk with Mem0 right now, so we're going to integrate that to our SDK. Yeah.
I think it's really should define learning, right? What do you mean by learn? People, people have so many different definitions of learning in the enterprise. Because if you're thinking it's just accumulated knowledge, and then the model can really query knowledge, that's how you already have a very mature architecture for that. But if your meaning learning means I'm going to retraining the model, that's totally
no. The vector data store, right? You can have more sort of token of more. How do you say chunks? Not chunks. More embeddings, right? In the vector store, and then you can be more accurate.
That means you build up the vector database in the backend, right? Yeah. That's a very mature architecture already. But it's not related to what I think, in my opinion.
This is not RAG specific, right?
I think Mem0 they use that RAG as well. Yeah.
RAGs.
Also, we're going to support local embedding as well.
Hey, thanks for the presentation. I like the the fire renaming demo, and then the previous demo on the super app by the CEO. I'm a product manager at Pico ByteDance, and which is also Android VR AR devices, and I work on the SDK part. So I really understand the key to like success is like on the device itself. I think for you, I just want to ask more about your thoughts on what are the typical successful use cases of the edge computing devices with your AI model. So for example, there are like educational devices, right? Like the kids use a pen just to scan a paper and then they get answers. There are like toys And you also mentioned the AR glasses. And some of those devices, they actually, are based on phone, so they can use the computer as a phone or based on computer. And other categories are like those autonomous robots. They're not connected. They're just like their own units. So the first question is you thought about some of the key developers you want to target to.
Alan is a better person to answer this question.
So currently, as our current open source project, we are targeting mainly the PC developers because we're the most of the project you develop is on your laptop, the GitHub project. So we see, so our target customer, so basically kind of everyone who wants to try like the AI use cases, but they want to use an on-device way to build that, either for cost is the biggest one, because it's cheap, just right there, and then privacy, and then latency, and the use cases will be very similar to cloud because the AI models functionality are the same. Yeah.
And again, we're OpenAI compatible, so you can just easily switch your OpenAI part to our solution.
Yeah.
Another question is about the super app demo. You build one demo that you can kind of like a assistant of the OS, right? You can ask it to do things. It seems like it's depending on the OS, and it needs some access of the other apps. So for users of building apps like this, do you envision users are more like app developers that one app and you can open another app and do some AI stuff, automation? Or it's more like a OS developer, so you want to build more like services, runtime features in the OS. I just want to understand more about the platform side of using the SDK.
So we have customers from both. So we have the OS developers, like the AR glasses. Those traditionally these glasses very hard to control, and they want to integrate the models at the OS level to help better improve the human-computer interaction for those edge equipments. So we have that for sure. We also have the mobile app kind of developers too as our customers. Their main use case would be some control, because for Android is very open. It's controlling specific functions at the OS level, and also we can open other apps functionalities when given certain use cases. And for iOS, it's also doable too with their kind of app intents or shortcuts to navigate that. So there's use cases for both.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, if you at the moment there's huge demand in the enterprise area for on-premise inference. I don't know if you guys are looking at this specific area, because it's very crowded already, right? The on-premise inference, there's many players like Grok, Friendly AI, Deep Infra, I guess. Have you made a comparison to these guys? Like in terms of again speed and so
for on-premise?
For on-premise inference.
I see. Yeah. So currently we are only targeting pure local on your personal device use cases. So we're not looking at the the server deployment kind of use cases for our SDK, because we're a small team. We have to focus on one.
When you focus on consumer electronic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
So we have sticker on both sides, so feel free to take. And also I bought a lot of pizza, so feel free to help yourself.
Wasn't that amazing? A big round of applause for all our presenters. We hope you found the sessions insightful and inspiring. The innovations shared tonight are truly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in on-device AI.
Everybody here for the group photo?
Group photos before eating on the elevator.
Now,
Everybody come this side, please. Can you use a microphone to say group photo?
before we transition into our networking session, a few quick announcements. Visitor escorting. For our visitors, if you need any assistance, our wonderful volunteers, coordinated by at Wilson Wang and at Gary Key, are here to help.
Hi guys, let's take a
Refreshments,
photo in the front.
delicious pizza and drinks have been arranged by at Kai, so please grab a bite and enjoy. Remote participants. For those online, feel free to continue the conversation in our chat channels and stay connected.
You come here for the group. Hey, the gentleman in green shirt. The gentleman in green shirt, can you take photo first if you're leaving? Sorry, I lost my voice. Oh, we can alternate. We can alternate. Don't come, don't leave, come. Everybody, my colleagues.
Let's make the most of the remaining time to network, share ideas, and forge new collaborations. Whether you're here to find answers, partners, or just good conversation, this is the perfect opportunity. Thank you all once again for being part of the AI4D community. Have a fantastic evening.
And people, the two people having pizza?
People having pizza?
Can you come over?
I don't want to photo.
You don't want to be, can you take photo first?
Can you take a picture for us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, you can go ahead. I can take the photo, please.
Can you join and let her take photo?
You know what? Okay, fine.
And you, come over.
I don't want to.
Okay. Right?
Oh, we love the face covered up.
Because you work for Meta or why?
You found out.
1, 2, 3. One more. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Oh, that's a Huawei lady.
Yeah, this is
$6,000.
Yes.
US they use it for conversion,
Showing off his new device. US. You know what does this phone do?
This phone has Wei.
How do you glue all these things together?
Yeah, but I mean, servers now like kind of device. Like we're
When you fold it, there is no line on it that you show you. When you can show the folding, there is no line. Yeah.
Wait, just launched the
okay, you can walk now. She was crossing a very busy street. Some guy in somewhere on the cloud, so she just says, you know, cross the street. You're online. It's like a page that has same as Uber, you know. And he says, okay, so phone out.
Human beings.
Yeah. So one demo we're trying to my wife is
Thanks again.
Yeah, but it's like how we use when you are on Uber, can use this You guys, what's the like llama LLMs know what they're doing. On device consumer.
So I'm not We also started companies that it's very hard to learn model.
We're hiring many people.
For more details, I don't know. I'm trying to know more. I just know what the model does.
This is so cool.数钱要下一个阶段要有点追求的。下一个阶段不一定是有钱追的。
And then interrupting also is like, the way it works is like, a little bit, a little bit better latency,
Every technique gets
open source.
Everything you can do to solve the on-device.
Hello. I just got here. I just got here too because literally like I mean, even proper. It wasn't actually. I work for I'm just giving you an example. Our example is good.
Some people will stop up the menu. They work on manual jobs. We do the backend text data.
In the GitHub, you search
I think also there's like
we all do WeChat as a private chat.
She's a recent graduate. So we use true AI in the sensor itself. What are you trying to get? 这什么牌啊？Edge is phone. Edge for me is a little $8 sensor.
I'm working on 离家近啊，离家近啊！不是，我都没去泡老腿，因为这个就是顺路的。对，但是也不远，至少比泡老腿好的。是那6点多回家也很正常。好像不太多，还能讲吗？好像就是如果他就是如果不是直接跟老板认识，他也不会请他，所以你是要非常仔细的。我这会儿有 credit， 我想打车回去正好还不是完全免费的。公司的 credit。但是感觉你还要付个2块钱。
Training data sets. What do you know? What do you do?
But I see model, but they more like it's always easy to get in general, specify one line.
The data basically will have very minimal data transfer. It will get scheduled depending on where
Your injection mold is already there. Stop the conversation.
Oh, they don't care. They don't care. They send out thousands of emails a day. They only need about the one thing they provide. Yes, I do know. Why are you going? How did you get my public services, you just type in. You can go to that webpage and pay them.
So, yeah, right now we have this exact task. Right now, like a.
There's a bridge.
Yeah,
In the line.
We need to
This is more like water temperature. So we calibrate.
So E-road is one of the E-road is a district, but from E-road my center is almost all the city kilometers away. From a village of almost 20,000 people. And each center operates 24/7. And 20,000 population. How many employees in the E-road center? I have about 300. And Kapu, Service district, I have about 480 people. All of these are homegrown talent. E-road is close to the country. If we're going to the airport, from the airport, it's 90 minutes. After some Coimbatore is not a good place. Tirupur is not a good place. They have a lot of these alternate options, like yarn mills, spinning mills. So Coimbatore Amrita, so they have opportunities the candidate can companies are. Everybody's I don't know. When we it's not even an emerging sorry. We have to look customers is important. I think customers I can just enter it. We've been invited to the we are sponsors. This is $1 million.
I heard that my friend who is from Assam.
We are coming from a student.
In Assam, he could not. West Bengal, he has connections, he speaks Bengali, he could not. And when he came to Karnataka, he said like, there are open arms, and then things happen like that. So he said, what's wrong with this? Here's my hometown. I wanted to start. Then nobody, I come to Karnataka, and then they just picked up like this. So he was saying like, why would I ever go?
Or how they go to be, what is the incentive?
Right, because he's saying like, this is my hometown, I speak the language, and they're like literally pushing me away. So when I go to Karnataka, they're like immediately checking me. I can see the difference. Why? Mutually beneficial. Like somebody who's making jobs, instead of supporting them,
Because yours is not a small company. How much do you pay for it?
So you are able to work here.
The reason I spent 15 years from the United Army, I spent time at your Society for Alienation.
That makes sense.
Your company house and your
Our job was to verify, validate, that's a communities benefits are going to now I don't know if it's there also, but I sat there and worked with a lot yeah, so anyway, so basically at that time, I wanted the government to be my customer. It's easy for people to talk to you've done the role,
most companies are,
but right now you are I work with indirectly for someone like Microsoft, all your LLM Chennai companies. Third party outsourcing is coming. That's the problem. If we are, see, we can work directly because I'm working for nothing, no value. So, what is it
oh, yeah, I think that's
that's not everybody. Waymo's there, Neuro is there, Zoom is there. Cruise is there. Begin is there. All of those companies.
I have to wear a jacket. Yeah, that's a micro.
I've done some work with drone surveillance and computation of that. Oh, that is because how do I say? Yeah, I'm trying my best over here. No, that's
Actually, it's a plus point. People from
it's not anything. Gently, I studied easy throughout my life. Towards the school, college. You can study. You want to study, you can study. Just that people say option. Always. Never. There's no question of no option. Only reason people are fighting is there's an ego impossible. Like that's what the central government, the Indian government education policy is coming in telling you that you have to have second language. That is the reason. Right? So when they say there's a 3 language policy, they have to be compulsory. That was there. That was the reason the agitation was there. See, when I felt in CBS, the second language.
3 years old. That's pretty young.
Matriculation. Also, you can study second language. When they say that you have to have Hindi as a compulsory language, either a second or not.
So previous you
no, my question what was the
these agitations happened in the 1960s. 1967 was the forefront of agitation. Because they said they're making Hindi as the official language. Forget about education. They're making it as the official language. All the exams that were giving in English were Hindi. All the exams not till I railway, banking, so when you write a UPC exam, it is available in 21 languages. Right now, that time, that's no, that time,
and also
as per the constitution, there's no official language for
when we grew up in Hyderabad, I was everybody learns English. Everybody actually that third language. Third language is
education that happened in the 1960s. That's all I'm trying to say. 1960 to 67. There has been a position. It is not we call it as where they say that he is everywhere. No, see, why did languages like Bhojpuri.
They're really bad at like
language-based states were formed. Third language either Hindi or
you're studying the state book. The medium of instruction itself medium of instruction. There's no English as a separate language. There's Kannada medium.
it's probably something
English medium only private schools. Government schools give English medium.
No, I would say more like
Now,
Here I see. Yeah, me too. See, once upon a time.
they basically provide those speakers for research and after they invite
Why no other state had any problem? See, Kerala was also same problem, Karnataka same problem.
Because West Bengal also protested. That's why Bengal is, see, any state that does not push their language eventually gets taken. Like Bihar.
I just found out that most people there were.
Language itself is gone. The script is gone.
So why do you
Physics.
Because they were protested.
Let's focus on
They protested. They pushed back. Kerala also protested.
Gujarat.
All of them were extreme.
I think that's a good thing.
The same thing. All of them. Only the Punjabi language is still open. All the local languages.
I think it's also hard.
Something they could. Any of the languages that the local people did not push. The local languages got diluted. So that's why this whole didn't happen in Telugu. So I'm telling you, the regions want this push back.
Where is the need for pushback? That's because Telugu is already there. English is the second one. Third is Hindi. And if they wanted to have something that can
I'm at a startup.
Yeah, I didn't make that connection until like 6 years ago. So no, I'm not the owner. The name is because our CEO is an idol. What's the most dangerous thing when you're flying is
And also nets. Imagine that there's like spider nets.
No, hopefully no nets. It's like the spike traps for planes.
How, I think now, last 5 years. Exams, government exams are appearing very good.
No, I do partnerships, alliances.
No.
We're trying, basically, we have something together, so we're like a state government.
This is one of the biggest exams. And you know, this is one aspect. PSUs. That's supposed to English
So like with us, they have like a secure home. Like a lot of it is technology is
and other
information they have classified. So normal people that are that don't have still not like they're still expecting to
I'm the position's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
So my question is, if they want to do that, unless they are educated in some in an English medium, they are not comfortable in English, which is not their fault.
So you should get their local language.
Yeah, that's why all sorts of actually in Midwest.
We used to go.
So you are saying the
Attention everyone. As we approach the end of our meetup, I'd like to thank you all for your enthusiasm and participation. Let's give another round of applause to our speakers, sponsors, and organizers who made this event a success. We look forward to seeing you at our next AI open source meetup. Until then, keep innovating and collaborating. Good night and safe travels.
Yeah.